The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the management and staff of Guardian Radio.
Good morning and welcome to Guardian Radio AM. Today is Tuesday, December 9th. It's a little after 11 o'clock in the morning, and once again, this is C.A. Newry, and I shall be your host for today. Today's phone numbers are 323-6232, 325-4316, and 325-4259. And if you're calling from the Family Island, it's 242-300-5720. We're going to have a call-in show today, just in case you want to call in and talk about a topic specific to your liking. I'll be happy to entertain that. But before I start, I want to talk or have a conversation about Nervous Saturday. Last week was Nervous Saturday, and it was exciting. The NJC had the event at the Montague foreshore there, and they had it in conjunction to the sailing activities. One of the things I found entertaining, see the word there, entertaining. One of the things I found fascinating, one of the things I smiled at was the announcement of the name 1958 World Famous. That was the name of the Junkanoo group. Let me repeat it. There was a Junkanoo group that was named. I think they're going to be coming out at 5th place, if I'm not mistaken, for the Boxing Day Junkanoo Parade. They will be coming out in 5th place. Was the 1958 World Famous. I'm not sure if it's a new Junkanoo group. See, I'm being facetious here because I know who the group is. I'm not sure if it's a new Junkanoo group or if it's the original Junkanoo group, but definitely the group was named 1958 World Famous. Of course, that caused some kind of combustion because immediately afterwards, because they got to give their explanation and theme of the group. John Williams, who is the PR representative of a Junkanoo group, and I'm saying it like this because it tends to cause confrontation, and they just call me and row and inbox me. So I'm going to try my best to be centered in this conversation, right? Because I'm going to make an announcement shortly. So I'm using the word loosely, 1958, but and world famous. But we know that is world famous 1958 or the 1958 world famous Valley Boys. That's their supposed official title. I'm going to say that for now, just to recognize the group. But according to the NJC, they are not the 1958 World Famous Valley Boys, but the 1958 World Famous. Full stop. Right? We know earlier that the minister, Mr. Mario Boleg, said he cannot recognize, the government does not recognize two groups with the name Valley Boys. When I say they didn't recognize, they said there was a court decision where they have determined that one of the groups owned the name Valley Boys, right? And that the minister said that they're going to go by that until the court decision has been reversed. Of course, there's some subsequent suits and whatever it is, right? The name is still embattled. It's still in court, right? The last appeal gave way to the 1958 World Famous to make an appeal of the last decision. That needs to be explained. There was a court decision stating that the name belongs to one group, and that group is called the Valley Boys. They have the name. And then there was an appeal, and that appeal was declined. And then there was a judicial review, right? And the judicial review said they have a right to fight for the name. So that's where we are. They have a right to fight for the name. However, at this present, the name belongs to another group. So that other group is called the Valley Boys. The Valley Boys vex. I mean, they don't want them to use this world famous, 1958 world famous, to use their name at all. Right? And the government said, okay, since you didn't want them to use the name, they won't use your name. They're the 1958 world famous. When they had the People's Rush, I think that was Independence Day, the 1958 world famous attempted to use the full name with the Valley Boys attached, and the police got involved and told me, if y'all got to take that banner, y'all got to move that banner. So they rushed under something else. To get the seed money, the 1958 world famous received the money under that name, 1958 world famous. They need the money from the government. They accept the money. They still arguing that they still the Valley Boys, right? But they received the seed money. They registered. Well, this is a debate on whether the 1958 Valley Boys registered in general, by the way. Again, all kind of tax right now. They arguing whether they registered, if they could have registered, would they registered under? What documents would they were able to present? So there's an argument whether they fully registered. The 1958 world famous said yes, they registered, and they registered as the 1958 world famous Valley Boys. Again, the NJC said no, y'all ain't registered underneath that at all. We ain't know what you keep on bringing it up again and again and again. We keep on telling you you're not registered as the 1958 world famous Valley Boys, but you registered as the 1958 world famous. Today, see, like all that to get to this thing. Today they in court. Today the world famous, or the 1958 world famous, sue the government, sue Mario Boleg, sue the Ministry of Culture. I know if the NJC, but that's the government too. That's a branch of Ministry of Culture. I'm not sure if they're involved, but at this present time, Mr. Boleg sees himself in court. I don't know what the court says. Anyone who knows what the court says, I can call in. They can call in and tell me what did the court determine. But they say the government, meaning Mario Boleg, is preventing them from using their name, which is the 1958 world famous Valley Boys. And they have a problem with that. So if you have a problem with things, you take it to the courts and let the courts decide, right? But at this present time, the world famous can't use the word Valley Boys. They didn't have the banner, no. The banner didn't have Valley Boys on it. But if they bring the banner out there and the word Valley Boy, that banner can't be used. It can't be used. And this is why they go into court now, because they already have a couple of their costumes have the word Valley Boys on it. But then they're told already, if you have the word Valley Boys on it, you can't make it to Bay. I want to know your opinions on that. I want to know your opinions on that. I think I laid out all of the concerns. I think I laid out the conclusion of where the world famous, the 1958 world famous group, where they stand. I think I laid out where the Valley Boys, they only have one name. They say these the Valley Boys. They said they don't want nobody use their name. At this present time, the court then rule, and until the court reverse the situation, they are sticking to the point that that's their name. The government yield and say, yeah, we understand that we's a court, we's a government, and we see what the court is. I assume they gone to their legal counsel, and they counsel say, yeah, according to that now, that's where they stand. That's their name. So that's where we are. I see we have the calling in right now. I see I have one or two texts. I'm going to read that. But let me allow Kermit. Let's patch that caller through right now to see if we can start out this conversation. Go ahead, caller.
Hey,
Guardian
what's
Radio.
happening, CA Newry?
I'm doing well. How you doing?
Here's Chief Stinking Coach Ken. I'm so exhausted and tired of this nonsense that's going on. You understand? See, we got to go back to its inception. When the Valley Boys was together and we was trying to get an audience with the then chairman of the Valley Boys, of course, everybody knew we were rejected about 13 times. What they didn't know was that they had allowed, that chairman and his crew had allowed the name statute of limitation to expire. You see, it's 3 years.
But Johnson, you done explained this about 40 times. And mind you, I want to engage you. So I see you trying to reiterate or what I call politic. The world famous say they didn't agree with nothing you said. So you repeating it again and again and again doesn't change the point that they disagree. So I want to start you. No, we all know. Because you called 40 times.
Yeah.
Right? So we know. The point is where we are. That's why I want you joining the conversation. Because I know what you're doing, and I appreciate it. I just stopping you to have a different type of conversation.
Okay.
The conversation is come. No, man, I want you to take it back. I ain't mad at you. I just speeding up the conversation. The point is, come Boxing Day, there's going to be a combustion.
Yeah, probably.
I want to know what should happen come Boxing Day. Comment on that. What should happen come Boxing Day?
The letter of the law should be followed. The Registrar General has told that grouping, after the Ellis ruling, that set aside both of their applications. It was not overturned in the Court of Appeals. The Registrar General told them, you have to change your name. And that is where it ends right there.
And let me pause you right there.
They refused to do it.
And let me pause you right there. This secondary court, where they gone to make the appeal, said that maybe, perhaps, more than likely, I could use that, the registrar erred in her decision. That's where we are. And they said that they have a good chance. This was the judge, the magistrate. I don't know. It was a judge, magistrate, justice, whatever. It can't be a justice. So it can't be. It's a magistrate, I think. Small thing. Said that, no, they made an appeal. You see when you don't know law? Anyway, one of those judge people said, that more than likely they have a good chance of winning the right for the name.
Now, tell me, Newry, being an appellant judge, three of them. That sound right what you say this now? That an appellant judge would tell somebody bringing a case to court, you might stand a good chance. That don't sound right, eh?
It was inside a judgment. Let me see if I have the judgment. I could read it to you.
The judge, what you are about to read, if you find it, was what was swirling around with the media and the groupings in court. The judge would never compromise himself like his or herself like that.
But
he would never say that.
This was the judge wording. I remember reading what the judge said. It was the judge ruling.
Well, find it. And even if you find it, Newry, and she said that, if it's a big conjunction, you might have a good chance. But it ain't there yet. So as it stands now, Judge Ellis' ruling stands. That is the bottom line. That's the law. These fellas are lawless.
And I understand that, and I appreciate your opinion, and I am concerned, right? I am concerned of this year's John Canoe, right? And the reason why I'm concerned is that there hasn't been any closure.
No.
Regarding this, because I thought this is finished by now. Judgment.
Exactly, and they didn't get seed money. You need to go investigate how they get that seed money. If their proper paperwork wasn't in Tingham, and then from what I understand, we got our correspondence yesterday stating that these fellas went to the commissioner of police in fear for their life. New Year's, because the two valleys back to back behind one another.
The two valleys back to back behind one another. See,
world famous coming out third or second, and the way forward Valley Boys coming out third. And these fellas going to the police say they in fear for their lives. What the kind of nonsense is this, man?
And I hear you, Chief Stinking Goatskin, and it's better to be safe than sorry. It is a combative disposition we have now between the two Valley Boys. And I use the two Valley Boys loosely just for this conversation, because I know there's only one Valley Boy. Right?
Yeah,
but if they're coming back to back, surely there need to be extra security. Just in case.
If they feel that way, like you say, everybody entitled to it, you know what I mean? Mm. But Chief Thinking goes good. I can't say walk, so I gotta go fight nobody.
No.
Not me. You know.
But if you
could have
walked, and if you could have seen, you'd have been out there throwing your mouth.
Well, I would have been throwing the same kind of blows I throw it now. I just go by the letter of the law.
Yeah, I know.
And follow the law, see?
Yeah. But thanks very much. I appreciate it. But we need to definitely have that conversation. And now that you explained to me that they come and read after each other on New Year's Day, we need to have that conversation about extra security. I know they already picked the numbers, right? But now we need to start talking about what things to preempt frustrations, right? Make sure, speak to the group leaders, make sure you have mediators in between to make sure We may have to put two scrap groups in between there too, right? We need to consider all of that. We have another phone call on the line. Kermit, let's patch that caller through. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM. We are talking about kaleidoscope of things, but we're talking about Junkanoo right now. If you're interested in talking about that, but go ahead.
Okay, yeah. As a historian, right? I mean.
Okay, go ahead.
Have you ever? Is there an instance you know? Have you ever recalled that we have used the legal system to like deal with a cultural issue?
Cultural issue. And I do not know. But that doesn't mean that I do not support the idea. See, the court is there for us when we are grieved, when we are vexed.
Oh, really?
But other than that, that means we have to fight. I don't want them fight physically for this.
Hey.
Because I know, as a passionate person, I like fighting. I grew up on East Street. I know about fighting, about culture. The history of Junkanoo was a violent history. Gangs are from one side, and the next side used to clash.
No, it's a kind of organized gang culture, right?
Mm.
But it seems that our courts are used to accomplish things that have a political tinge.
You think?
You
not even give me an example.
Bahama.
Bahama, when you have an aggrieved, they had to go to the court. That wasn't political at all.
And the original rulings by our courts were what? Overturned.
No, our original was not overturned.
Yeah. The fellow is getting his money.
No, that's two different things. Two different things. No. Hold on. No. Let me pause you. Let me correct you. Right? Our courts determine that the Bahama, I don't like talking about the company, that the company is owned by CC, whatever that Chinese CC. Oh, anyway, forgive me
Chinese
for
construction.
No. It wasn't Chinese construction. Chinese construction moved to the two hotels. No, they moved to the two hotels on Bay Street.
Okay.
Have nothing to do with the big hotel out west. They moved, and our courts determined that the bankruptcy trial could be held in the Bahamas, where we wind up. They wind up that, and that the hotel, the big hotel out west, was sold. It was sold to the people who own Rosewood. And I'm trying to go on memory and correct me.
Yeah,
so our court, hold on, let me finish. Our court determined that, and everything about our court was finished. What you talking about with the gentleman getting his money has nothing to do with the big hotel out west. This is something separate and apart.
Okay.
So our court was not overturned. Our court was completed.
But don't forget, right? The money that would have completed the project on time was used to buy the other property downtown.
Yeah, I have no problem with that, what you're saying with that.
Okay, now, but see, I'm coming to the idea that it's really all about the money. Okay? Because, on the heels of all this thing between these groups, right? In the background, you had a group sponsored by the government.
Which group was sponsored by the government? You talking about Junkanoo?
Authority? The Junkanoo Authority?
Yes. As a part of government.
Yeah, they were trying to create an entity that would control Junkanoo, right? And if you look at the groups if you look at the way forward and the world famous SpongeBob, one of those groups have a lot of members who were a part of that of the junk authority.
Really?
You have to look at the newspaper, babe. Okay. Anyway,
I think you accusing people.
no. In terms of conjecture, as far as the world famous is concerned, this may be more about the intellectual property.
Yes.
That is in the world famous volleyball. That the way forward may have no access to. Now, the problem is that most of the members in that group are kind of partially responsible for creating that property.
But what property are you talking about? Give me an example of the property you're talking about.
Okay. The Valley Boys, the world famous, they are the only group who have more or less a written history.
No, but the both are Valley Boys, so they all have the written history.
No.
No, that's what it is. They both have the same history.
But the world famous Valley Boys.
No, Valley Boys. Okay. No. I gotta stop you. No. Valley Boys has the history. Valley Boys. Don't say. No. Stop. Pause. Valley Boys has the history. Okay.
I'll agree.
Go ahead.
I'll agree.
Go ahead.
Okay, but that history now, that intellectual gold mine, in terms of history and notes, and I mean,
belongs to the Valley Boys and whoever hold the name.
No. See, okay, you think those guys are gonna?
I ain't saying nothing.
The other group.
I ain't saying nothing. Don't put me involved in this.
No.
I'm saying this is what I'm saying.
I am telling you what's on the table.
I'm telling you, correcting you. The Valley Boys own the history of the Valley Boys, and whoever have the name will own the history of the Valley Boys.
It ain't gonna happen like that.
Okay.
And you know it yourself.
I go by the courts. Whatever the courts determine.
If the courts have heard in the past,
you appeal.
Will continue to in the future.
You make an appeal until they have a conclusion, and when the conclusion come, whoever has the name owns the legacy.
You don't own you don't own legacy.
You don't own legacy?
You protect legacy.
Well, whoever will have the name will be protecting the legacy.
And we know who the protectors of the legacy are.
The Valley Boys.
Okay, the Valley Boys.
Yes. Thank you very much, caller. Once we know it's the Valley Boys. Yeah, I ain't going on who left or right. Whoever owned the name Valley Boys will have the legacy. That's all I said. It doesn't bother me if it's a way forward or the world famous. Whoever own it.
If they win, right?
Yeah.
If they win, they are going to need a court order to get even that.
Yeah. We shall see when the judge decides.
It ain't happen.
Yeah, I should watch. I appreciate your call, though. I should appreciate your call. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about, that there's some construction brewing, and I believe that we need to do some preemptive things and make sure that there's no, end quotes, violence on Bay Street. No, let me change that word because I don't like putting no strange words. Disruption. There's no disruption on Bay Street because, like I said, the world famous take the minister to court today. Today he was in court. So I found that entertaining. They fighting over the name, and I have no problem with them fighting over the name, but there needs to be some conclusion, right? Let's go to the caller again. Guardian Radio AM, of course, this is CA Newry. Go ahead, caller. You're live, caller.
Hey, CA, 1 second. You see, it's people like your last caller that is confusing this thing out there about who are the Valley Boys. You're correct. We are all Valley Boys. But if you want further subdivide, and I'm going to say this one more time, whoever listening, Brian Adley is just the chairman. Just like Dion was the chairman of the JCNB. He didn't own no Valley Boys. He was a chairman. Almost he designated himself chairman for life. That was what we was fighting against. You understand now?
But you already talk about that.
Boys, Huh?
You already said that already. We already know that part.
Yeah, but I got to say it for people like that who just
No,
get it all
they're
mixed.
calling you. He have just a different perspective.
Brian come to the Valley Boys in 1995.
You already
People like me been to the Valley from
explained
74.
that. You already explained that. We all aware of that already. Johnson.
So what is he saying about who owned the intellectual property?
He is saying that they have a right to fight for their name, and they're going down fighting for their name, and whoever wins the name, but that's why I was trying to correct him. Whoever
Well, I can say
wins
one
the
more
name.
thing that I didn't say before. The only 5 living architects of 18 living ones that formulated the Valley Boys, excluding Gus, because Gus didn't do it. They're still alive, and they are with the way forward. That's Christie, Lucy Cadet, Whitey, Galar, and Bailey them. They with the way forward. So I don't know what these call you talking foolishness about. Thanks for taking my call.
I have Rosie Godet number now. I wonder if I could call him on the break and ask him what he say about Junkanoo, the Valley Boys. I have Rosie Godet number. He's a senior Valley boy. I mean, he live in the Valley. You know, they senior man. Godet a senior man. I might have to call him and see which of the original Valley Boys support the world famous. Since they protecting the legacy and everyone's saying Gus this and Gus that. We may have to have that discussion. And because nobody included these original Valley Boys in the discussion, you know. So we can see where they decided. No, I know where Perry Christie decided. We didn't voice that. Right? But I see the House passes the migrant bill. I think there needs to be an education of what the bill is. There's a first reading, second reading, and a third reading. I think that there may need to be a re-education of the Bahamian public, because I know grade 6 in the public school system, that new social studies book explain how a bill is passed. And I think a number of Bahamians are not aware. So hopefully I'll be able to do a quick rundown on how a bill is passed. Oh, the caller gone? I guess since the caller hang up, you can call back, caller at 323-632-3232. 4316 and 325-4259. The caller back. Pass the caller through before I start explaining how a bill is passed there, Kermit. Go ahead, caller. Guardian Radio AM. Go ahead, you're live.
Hey, how you doing, man?
Doing well.
Listen, people, the Bahamian people in general have to understand, you know, emotion, and when they take the emotion out of certain things. Forget Trevor Davis for a minute. If I go down to the register, and it wasn't even about Junkanoo. If I had a business and I wanted to name that business the Valley Boys, and that name was available, that name was gone, eh?
Mm.
The name, it's available.
Yeah.
It's available. You can talk about legacy all you want. If protecting the name wasn't a part of your legacy, you dropped the ball.
The people said they had a license. They had a business license.
Bahamas, at one time ago, we had the same thing when you have a website, and we didn't protect Bahamas.com or whatever. You know how much money we had to spend to get the name back.
Mm.
And you know that's your branding, that's your identity, right? So the ruling, I think the ruling still stands as they cannot use the name because the name is not theirs to use anymore.
Mm.
And like you said, it doesn't matter how much parade you've been going for. The name Valley Boys, whoever gets the name gets the legacy.
Gets the legacy.
And again, one more point. Going forward, they might have an argument in the Court of Appeal to say, hey, man, we had this organization for a very long time and everybody knew, you know, that's something to argue. But right now, the stance is the Valley. But I think where we drop the ball, give and seed money to companies that stop. When you have to go get your business license or get anything, any type of contract from the government, any type of the public funds, you have to have these things in place. They didn't even have the name. They registered, but they're getting seed money for years.
I agree with you. And let me comment on that. Usually when you get seed number, you got to present your TIN number, you present your business license, you present your the NP, the non-profit designation. And we know that one of the Valley Boys did not have it. That's how you get your seed money. You got to present all these paperwork in order to get your seed money. We know that one group did not get their seed money with everybody else. because they didn't have half of these things. And later on, it was announced that they got the money. We didn't know when they got the money. No one tell us when there was no pageantry, fanfare about the presentation or anything. So we don't know what they presented to get access to the money, but they get the money. They get the money. That's problematic also, right? How you get the money when earlier you couldn't present any of the information. We still want to know what information you present. And even in terms of registering to rush. Now, you can't stop people from rushing now, right? But to be judged in the parade, we don't know what they register as. But clearly, the NJC said you register as world famous. But that's where they're going to court for. They're going to court to row about that today. But let's talk about the bill. So I'm reading the child's social studies book, right? It said that there are drafters who draft, the government, people in the government, wherever the drafters are part of the Attorney General's office, they draft a bill or let's start off before that. A minister identify a issue that they want a law to come into being. So they go to the drafters who are responsible for getting all the legislation, right wording and verbiage and everything and research. And these drafters construct a bill. They then take it to the minister who look over it, and the minister take it to cabinet, who then have a deliberation in cabinet over the bill, and where they conclude this is a good bill to put forward. They all conclude collectively that this is what they want. This will represent the government. That minister then brings the bill from cabinet to parliament. He have the first reading of the bill. Right? When you have the first reading of the bill is distributed to the opposition. The bill is then distributed to the general public and the media. So everybody have the bill. Everybody has the bill to read and make comments. Usually the government have social commentary or town hall meetings to explain these things. The public give their opinion on these things. They could go to the minister per se, go to the member of parliament and say, these are the things we like, these are the things we don't like, this particular wording here, et cetera, et cetera. And then you have that public scrutiny and suggestion. Then the bill is then tabled for a second time. The second time, they have debates back and forth on what to be changed, whatever it is. There's more public scrutiny and more deliberation between the public. Then the bill is read for the third time. They make whatever adjustments they need to make, right, to finalize the bill. And when they read the third time and everyone conclude that this is what it is, they have a vote on who support it, who don't support it. Usually the bill is then passed. When the bill is then passed, it goes to the Senate. The Senate then debate this bill again. If the Senate don't like it, the Senate could send it back, and then you start the whole process again. But the Senate debates the bill, and if the Senate likes the bill, say, okay, there's no problem with it, the bill is then sent to the Governor General. The General then signs off on this bill. And when the Governor General signs off on this bill, the bill is then go and gazetted, and then it becomes law after a gazette. I hope I explained that. And again, this is a grade 6 textbook I'm getting this from. All Bahamians, especially from what this year this is, from the early 2000s, at least for the last 25 years, this has been included in the primary school textbooks in terms of how a bill is passed. I know a number of Bahamians are still not familiar with it. I'm hoping that this general, because I'm sure I might have missed one or two specifications off it, but I wanted everyone to understand what is happening regarding the bill and what's next. There's a number of persons are concerned about various aspects of this smuggling of migrants bill. Warranted. I would assume that the opposition, who would be in the House of Assembly, would have raised concerns, put in suggestions on how to improve the bill, so the bill to move forward. And I'm assuming that's what they're doing in terms of the debate and their participation regarding that. Another thing I want to talk about is the national anthem. There's a conversation happening on social media regarding if the national anthem can be sung differently, altered. You know, we have a particular tune, we have a particular chorale on what is the words of the national anthem, but we have now new age Bahamians, cultural expressionists who like to alter things. Right, they said that they expressing themselves. They could improve upon the national anthem and how it's presented. I know even the National Youth Choir starts off Bahamaland, right, which is not a part of the national anthem. I don't see anyone objecting to it, but it's not that preempt that refrain before the national anthem is not a part of the national anthem. There are some culturalists, there are some nationalists, there are some people who appreciate the Constitution, who recognize the national anthem as a national symbol. And in fact, the national anthem is a national symbol. National symbols cannot be altered. You cannot alter the coat of arms of the Bahamas and say, I'm just doing my expression, right? Then the flag is a national symbol. You don't alter the flag. You can't even write on it. But then I just recently, I had a commentary by a academic who said that you can write on the flag per se based on your intent, and we need to have more discussions on that, because I was told you can't write on the flag. But definitely I think since the national anthem is a national symbol, there's no altering of the national anthem. It's the national anthem. This is how we sing it. These are the words. Full stop. You could go and alter something else. Anyway, this is Guardian Radio AM. We're going to take a quick commercial break. I want to talk about the politics of food. I see Aaron Green was talking about it, but I have a different view, a different concern, because something I saw off bay, and I want to raise an alarm, raise a concern, and hopefully people will encourage our government to do something about it, and rich people also. Anyway, we're going to take a quick commercial break. We're going to be right back.
Just sign in and have a seat, please. They'll call you in for your x-ray shortly.
That's why they call it a waiting room. You won't have that problem at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor. We never schedule multiple appointments, so you'll be in and out in no time. And if your initial screening reveals a concern, our radiologist can conduct an alternative screening right then and there. Call 328-8157 to schedule an appointment at Fourth Terrace Diagnostic Center or Imaging at Grosvenor today.
Are you searching for something new? Something exciting? Your dream job in paradise? Well, look no further. Royal Beach Club Paradise Island is hiring. Join a dynamic group of passionate hospitality professionals, craft unforgettable moments, and thrive in a vibrant, welcoming atmosphere. Play your part in shaping the future of our team while growing your own career every day. Bring your energy, your passion, and your creativity to a workplace that's as dynamic and fun as you are. At Royal Beach Club Paradise Island, the opportunities don't just exist. They're limitless. So are you ready to find your perfect fit? Visit Royal Beach Club at paradiseisland.com/career today and step into a world of exciting possibilities.
Love the show? Want to give your support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
1 in every 4 Bahamians face some level of food insecurity. AML Foods remains committed to helping, and this year, through our Feed 5,000 program, will donate $50,000 to provide holiday meals for families in need. But we need your help. From November 3rd to December 17th, show your support and donate at the register at Solomon's, Cost Right, Fresh Markets, Eleuthera Markets, Exuma Markets, or Domino's Pizza in New Providence, Grand Bahama, or Exuma. Together, let's put an end to hunger.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Guardian Radio AM. Of course, it's CA Newry. I get an update, and sometimes you'd be wrong, or sometimes the information you just didn't appreciate regarding the smuggling of migrants bill. Okay, the first reading of the smuggling of migrants bill was in October 15th of this year. Let me repeat that. The first reading of the smuggling of migrants, this bill, was done on October 15th. Of course, when I mentioned earlier, this is when the opposition gets a copy of it, the media gets a copy of it, the public gets a copy of it, everybody gets a copy of it to read over it and make any kind of complaints or suggestions they want. That's October 15th. October, then November, now December. This reading, which was yesterday, was the third reading. And remember I mentioned let's go first, second, and third reading? This reading yesterday was the third reading. That means the second reading had already gone. So this was the second and third reading. And debates are always in the second reading, where each side make recommendations, raise concerns, support the bill. All of that was done. Just that the opposition, who's supposed to look for things when ain't going well, something happened. The opportunity was there. Something happened. But we know that there was a concern. There were people who raised sections during this last reading, said this don't make no sense, and the government withdrew parts of the bill. But the bill has passed. The bill is now on its way to the Senate, and then from the Senate, if the Senate agrees, whatever it is, it'll be on its way to the Governor General, and it'll be a part of laws. And then people say you can always repeal. So much things people to repeal, right? But you know how that goes. Let's go to the caller. Guardian Radio AM, go ahead, caller. You're live.
Yeah, one of the days I drove a new party for that opposition should conduct themselves. But no, in the night they have more than one national anthem. They made that original national anthem.
So you're saying that we have more than one national anthem?
America.
No, we ain't talking about America.
No, that's it.
No,
I would welcome, not use that as a stepping board to say, I would welcome more than one national anthem.
Name me another national anthem the United States have.
Give you another one?
Yeah.
Well, off my mind, I can't give you right now, but I know the original one. Oh, there, can't you see? Then the other one I like, call it the black. They call it the black.
What black people do have nothing to do with the rest of the United States. They have an Indian one too. You trying to say with the Indian and Pakistani Americans, their national anthem is the national anthem of the country? What are you talking about?
No, I'm not saying India and Pakistan.
I talk about the national anthem of the United States. You bring it up the national anthem of the United States and said there's more than one national anthem.
I think you answer social media post about we have more than one national anthem.
I'm saying America has one national anthem.
Right, but they have many different forms of it, though.
No, they have one form of national anthem in the United States.
Not the original. I probably didn't explain to you right, but I forget the other set they sing sometimes.
Yeah, other people in the United States, not the country. Other people in the United States have their own anthems.
Right.
My church have their own anthem too, no? Yeah.
So I'm saying, you think with our original national anthem, you don't think we should add some other set to it?
No.
Why?
Because we have one national anthem, like every other country.
No, I know we have one national anthem.
So be straight.
Well, you really be straight.
Be straight.
No other piece, other different pieces.
Be straight. We have one.
I think we should have more than one, or more different arrangement. Because I remember one you mentioned arrangement. They're going to be on cable Bahamas RTV.
Yeah.
I like that arrangement.
People like it, but it's not the national anthem.
No, of course not. Of course, It's the Royal Bahamas Police Force.
It's protected. You know it's protected, right? The national anthem is protected.
Man, it's the Royal
And if it's
Bahamas
protected,
Police Force.
you are duty bound to protect it. You need to go in to protect our national anthem. Don't let them alter it. You are duty bound.
No. Listen to me.
Just protect it. That's all I'm asking you.
The original should always be played.
Don't play no other kind.
It'll always be played on a national.
Don't let nobody hear it. Don't let no one defame it.
On a closer note, I want all radio stations to play our national anthem before they sign on.
Okay.
That's my other gripe. Why it only should be the national station?
Mm-hmm.
All of us are patriotic.
No, I have no problem with it.
Well, yeah, but I think that Urkel should make that rule before you sign on to play the national anthem.
Right, Urkel, and tell him, make sure that happens.
No, we have an obligation to me and you should demand that. Me and you.
Yeah,
I don't our patriotism. I don't start with God in radio. Play our national anthem. Have a good day.
Yeah, man, thanks. I can mention it to Dwight. Dwight, make sure, we don't sign off or on, because we know 24 hours, all talk radio. But play the national anthem here and there, please, Dwight. See, I lobbying. The next thing I want to talk about is I went on Portaski Dock the other day, right? Drive through. And when I say I went on Portaski Dock, when you miss and turn off, I miss and turn off on the evening time, and I had to turn back on to get back onto the Eastern Road there. And I realized there's a whole ecosystem of poverty. There are people who need support who lives under the bridge. Not one person, not 3 people, not 5 people. There is about 20 people, homeless people, who live under the bridge. And I don't know if government know. I don't know if the number men know. I know the church know, because there's the 20 people that go to the church and get food. And earlier, Erin Green on her show, she brought the person from Bahamas Feeding, that's right company? Hand for Hunger group. And they were mentioned that they feed people who need support. And I'm concerned that we now have a culture of people who need support. Instead, when the saying say you teach someone how to fish, and instead of giving them a meal, I find that culturally now, we have a culture of people who need food. I'm not sure. I'm used to helping poor people who need support now. But when you see the Bahamas Striping Company said they are feeding 30,000 people for Thanksgiving. When you see, that's just one company. And then you see all the politicians saying they feeding 5,000. And then you see all of the various organizations say they feeding 500 and whatever it is. You say, how many poor people out there that need food? Every day they need food. Something we're doing wrong because they're not coming off the bread line. The numbers seem to be growing on the bread line. And I want to know, is it that bad? Are we one of those poverty-stricken countries that we need to be concerned? Let's go to this next caller there. Guardian Radio AM. I think we're a poor nation. I think we might be hurting you. Go ahead, caller.
Morning. I'm calling about the changing of the national anthem.
Go ahead, ma'am.
Hello?
You're live. Go ahead.
Yeah. So since we can't change the national anthem, how come we could change the flag, the color of the flag? When I was on Independence
We
Park,
do not change the
1973,
color
was
of
gold.
the flag.
Now all I see flying all over Bahamas is yellow.
I can explain that.
Please.
The government said that they got some original colors. The aquamarine and the gold is hard to print. Right? We order flags. We don't make flags here in the Bahamas. We don't make flags here.
I know that.
And when we put in the order to get the flag, the people who make the flags, we don't have that color. Why you all put this color? And every so often we get the right color when we put the order in, right? But because the mixture is so hard to make, it's you either get a flag or you get no flag.
Well, how come Barbados are using gold and some other Caribbean countries using gold? They have gold.
If you present our gold to the Barbados gold, it's 2 different gold.
No. Our gold is the same gold.
No, not. I'm telling you, each color is a number. Each color is a number, like how our aquamarine is different from different people. Aquamarine, each color on the flag is a number, and we normally put in the number for the flag. And
what
when
do you do with that?
What you can do with it? Well, we may have to change the flag to get an easier color. But
what?
I just tell you what you want to solve it overnight. But because sometimes we cannot get the right number, because we send the number in, you know. We send a number in, and the people who create the flag, because we don't create flags here, said they don't have the number that we sent. Will you willing to take the alternative? And then we have to decide, either we taking the alternative or we ain't getting no flag. And there are times, tough decisions have to be made. So, okay, we need a couple flags now, and we put in the order. So whenever you get the right color, send the right color, please. So that's why we have so much different color flags. And then we have private people, local people, especially if you have to buy it here locally. If you want a last-minute flag and go to places like Beyond Flags, right, they order their flags and they have a stock. And when you say you want a flag now, and they say, this is what we have, either you want it or you don't want it.
But guess what?
Go ahead.
Sunderland Hospital, their yard full of it, the gold. Some other places full of it, the gold. When I watch Olympics and other things, I see other countries with aquamarine and yellow. I say, so how we get yellow? Last independence, in the front of the Senate building, they had the big yellow flag in the front of the Senate building instead of gold. That was an insult.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, now
you need to go to a different company.
No,
because and China could do it.
That's where we're getting it from.
You're getting it from China?
That's where we're getting it from.
So you all got to leave China and go someplace else.
We have scores of places we try to get it. Like I said, this was explaining. We have a odd color, rare color of our flag.
Yeah.
Well, but all of the politicians and all the persons who deal with the flags already acknowledge this. I remember the lady who's doing the flags and explaining how she imported, going in full detail about how hard it is to find the right color flags and how they order.
We can't stop. We got to keep trying until we find
and we haven't stopped. We haven't stopped. That's what I'm saying, ma'am. We haven't stopped.
Okay.
We continue to work to get the right color flag.
I worked with the Secretariat for Mr. Harold Munnings, and he had boxes of flags, and they were yellow. He cussed and sent them flags back to the cabinet office, say they're not the right color. And how come government flying these yellow flags all around the roundabouts and stuff? You can't mix it sure enough.
The children mix up. Our children are smart. They understand when they say.
They understand. These young people ain't no number to gold. They don't even see in the yellow.
No, these young people smarter than us. They understand exactly. The same way how I understand, and you having challenges understanding that the flags is difficult to find the right color, and we put the number.
I hear you, sir.
Our children are adequate. They fix this build whole websites for themselves. They understand when they say flag 426, there's none available, and they say, okay, send 421. We can use this.
No.
They smart people.
No. We got to find someplace else in the world to do a flag.
What I could encourage you to do is, when you find the right place, inbox the minister and say, I find the right place.
But then we can't do it ourselves.
I just said you're doing it, but you keep on going back in circles.
No. I mean, we can't manufacture the flag ourselves, mix the right color.
We are having challenges even getting good license plates.
I'm talking about license plates.
I just tell them we having challenges.
I want the flag.
I just tell them we import flags. We don't make flags.
So we ain't nowhere of us trying to make our own flag.
You have an opportunity to create that business if you want.
Huh?
You have an opportunity to create that business if you want.
The government need to create it.
Government is not in business. They provide opportunity for Bahamians. Yes.
Well, anyway.
Thank you very much, caller.
Somebody else talking about the flag now.
Yes. That's why it's important. Well, it's now 12 o'clock. I wanted to accept those last two callers. We have challenges with the flag. We know that, all right? We know that the aquamarine is odd, right? We've been trying to get this aquamarine right for a while. And there's some times when people say they can't do it. And then you have to decide, okay, send that here until you get the right one, please. Sometimes we may have to be flagless for a while and say, why we have no flag up at all? Right now, you go in the Parliament Square. There's no flag there. I guess they're waiting on the right color. That's why there's no flag there in Rossin. Right? Anyway, I just had a pet peeve. This has been Guardian Radio AM with C.A. Newry. Thank you very much. Hopefully, we'll get the right colors for the flag. I'm not sure if we should leave it empty until we get the right colors. Maybe that's the thing, right? Sometimes they have it, and sometimes they just don't. Anyway. Have a wonderful day. Tomorrow is Wednesday. Man Down Mashup Wednesday with Aaron Green. Have a wonderful day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, streaming on GuardianTalkRadio.com and the Guardian Radio app, Nassau, Bahamas.